Round one, fight!
Good afternoon, my brothers and sisters in indie comics. So last time we talked about the Neurotic meetup, which was a great time. Certainly hope they continue to do those events. As I stated before, Gary said that he would, and I believe that he will. So we'll see which ones I am able to make it to this coming year. But this time I wanted to talk about SpaceCon. So as I said in the previous video, I did get to speak with Eric and Jeremy and Ryan and George the Giant Slayer and am I leaving anybody out? J3PO and I briefly talked to Comics Division, and I think that's everyone that I actually got to speak to. I'm trying to think if I'm missing. There was one other person, I'm sorry, but I cannot remember his name. I know he's normally on bragging rights with Jeremy. Forgive me if I get the name wrong. Jatron, maybe? I'm sorry if that's wrong. But I did get to go to SpaceCon, and it was a good time. I'd never been to a con before. It was the first time I'd actually gone to a con. And there was a lot of walking. And I'm not exactly skinny mini over here, although I am certainly working on my weight. So I am down roughly about 30 pounds, I believe, last I recall. Because I don't weigh myself every day. You don't want to do that. It's an easy way to get demotivated. That's a quick tip for anybody who's trying to lose weight. Don't weigh yourself every day. It'll be a major buzzkill. You want to weigh yourself at most twice a week, and you want to space it out because your weight's got to fluctuate throughout the week. Ideally, I'd say weigh yourself once a week. Try to do it at the same time, every day, preferably in the morning before you've, had anything to eat and you've already gone to the bathroom and stuff. So you're going to find out what your actual weight is. And of course, the minimal amount of clothing. I don't think you have to necessarily weigh yourself naked. It's usually not that critical. The minimal amount of clothes you have on, which might be what you sleep in, is not going to add that much weight to the scale. But at any rate, I digress. So it was nice. I got to see William Shatner speak at SpaceCon. That was unexpected. I don't know if I wasn't aware that he was going to be there, or if I'd just forgotten about it. Honestly, I'm really not sure. I would say be prepared, wear comfortable shoes, because there was a lot of walking, and where they had this out was the Freeman Coliseum, and while it is a rather large venue, there were not a lot of places to sit down where you could just sit. The majority of the seating where they you could places to sit down, you had to be eating at the food stalls that they had there. So other than that, the seating was pretty limited. Unless you were playing video games, but are you gonna sit there and play video games all the time? They did have a little arcade back at the main venue there. So yeah, it was pretty interesting. I'm disappointed though. I found out that I missed an opportunity to speak to Jim Starlin, and I'm still kicking myself for that. I saw him, and I don't know. I think my brain was on autopilot that day. Had really bad allergies, and I didn't sleep real well the night before. And then I kind of had a difficult time getting into the venue because the way they had traffic funneled in there was a freaking nightmare. I would suggest definitely trying to get there as early as possible. Normally in a venue, if you get there an hour ahead of time before the doors open, or hour and a half at least, you have no problem. I'm not sure what happened with this, but it was a nightmare to get into there. But the event, it was worth it. It wasn't too terribly expensive, all things considered, for what you did get. I thought it was a bit expensive, but then once I realized, that they did have William Shatner there, he spoke for, I don't know, maybe half hour or so. I mean, I wasn't timing it. He had a lot of interesting things to say, and I'm going to cover that in a later video because, of course, we're now in the end of November, and SpaceCon was at the towards the end of December, the 22nd through the 25th, I think, were the dates, as I recall. But I did get to see a lot of interesting things there. I didn't buy anything there. Oh no, I take that back. I stand corrected. I did buy something when I visited the Rippaverse booth. They did have Cover C of Gooding, which I had not originally picked up, and I'm glad that they had it because it's an absolutely beautiful cover. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me, but I say this, and it certainly bears repeating because it's true. The answer is always yes. If you think it looks beautiful online, you're kind of on the buy it. The treatments that they do on the Rippaverse books are freaking incredible. They are very nice. They are so much nicer. And I do often as well say that it might be part of my bias being a comic book guy is, just the experience of holding the comic in your hand makes all the difference in the world, because it's always, for me, and always will be, a physical medium. I don't mind the digital, but it's not my preferred method for reading books, but sometimes it's a necessity. Although I will say, Soska Sisters, Black Widow, No Restraints Play, I own it in trade paperback, I own the floppies, and I own it in digital. Because I had some ideas, some things that I want to do, and it's just easier instead of snapping pictures of the book. So that's where I would say digital comes in handy. If you want to do a review of it, digital is very handy for that, admittedly. So to me, it does have its case use, but purely as a comic book purist, I guess, if you will, I just really prefer holding my hands. What I grew up with, it's just, for me, it's all part of the comic book experience, and I just prefer it. And that's the reason why a lot of us are still here. We're trying to keep that medium alive. So that's a good thing. But that brings me to the point of this conversation is I did see Gary there, didn't really talk to him. I did get to meet Star Wars Theory. I talked to him briefly, and I always try to be conscious of my fellow fans' time, so I don't usually try to monopolize the time of the creators there. And it's not like we have these, long-standing relationships. I mean, I'm a customer, and that's, and a fan, so I want to make sure that everybody gets time to speak to, their favorite creator, things that they're a fan of. But I know there's been a lot of talk lately, and I'm just going to say it out front. You don't have to take my word for it. Go out and find out for yourself. In the previous video, we talked about the meetup at Neurotic. That Neurotic had, and it was at Billy Is it Billy Ray's? Is that the name of the place? I know it's in a part of a dance hall. I think it's Billy Ray's. It might be something else, but at any rate, I had an opportunity to meet the Soska Sisters, and there's certainly, post con and even a little bit before, there's been a lot of chatter talking down on them, and I have to say that they are two of the loveliest ladies I've ever had the pleasure to meet. They are very nice people to meet in person. No, they are genuinely very nice. If they're putting on an act, they fooled me. They should get an Academy Award. But I believe they have genuine love for their fans, and it shows. They were incredibly receptive. They didn't rush me. I mean, and if they did, I understand, other people were there to see them as well. And I actually happened to stop by the booth before they were going to be there, because I understood they were going to be there much later. And I just happened to stop by, and they were there. And even though they weren't scheduled to be there for another couple of hours, they were, they are very hospitable, and were talking to their fans. And I went there with the intention to have them sign a book for me. And what they did really surprised me. So let me see. I think I have... Let me see if this is the box. Is this the box? Which one is this? I don't think... Nope, I don't think that's it. Let's see. Where is... Did I bring it? Don't tell me I didn't bring it. And I picked up the wrong one. Did I pick up the wrong box? Oh no, it is the right box. I was looking at the wrong side of it because I'm a dummy. So I showed up with this. Because why not? I repurpose stuff, so this is just a reverse mailer. Got to get my books in. I don't even remember what book this was for. And I showed up with this, and they asked, if there's anything they could do for me, that they could sign for me, And so I started opening it. Of course, it's a trifold, and so they were very curious, and they started looking, and Sylvie really started peeking all over because she was very curious of what I had. And then, I put this book in here too. This is actually, I do have the book. I stand corrected. Here, this is just an aside. This is the cover C. Look how stupid shiny cover C is for Gooding. It's an absolutely gorgeous book. And of course they do they have the embossing on there on Gooding and stuff. And it's just such a pretty book. There's supposed to be fire. There is definitely a fire effect there. If you can get this book, grab it. So this is what I brought to them. This is issue 1. Black Widow No Restraints Play, the run that they did for Marvel. It was a 5-issue limited series. Here's the thing that surprised me that they did. That's book 1. Cover 2. Three. 4. Sorry, I'm trying to get in close. These are very shiny. And lastly, 5. They signed all of them for me. They didn't have to. I told them it'd be very gracious. I would greatly appreciate if they signed 1 for me. And they insisted on signing all 5 of them. To say that was blown away and still kind of a little blown away is an understatement. And I'm not really like a celebrity kind of person, like where I follow and, idolize these people. I mean, I am very much a fan of their writing, for sure. But as I said, they are genuinely nice people. I would definitely not hesitate the opportunity to meet with them again and, hang out and get a chance to talk, when there's more time just to talk about comics. I think they would have stood there and talked to me for a while had there not have been other people in line. Of course, I didn't want to, like I said, dominate anybody's time to make sure that fellow fans get a chance to see them. But they are very nice, and they remember my name. They saw me other times through the event, and they would just say, "Hey, how's it going?" and call me by my name, and they remember my name. And I was there for a while after that, so they are very nice. So if you get the opportunity, go and meet them and judge for yourself. Again, don't take my word for it. I think that you're going to find that oftentimes people are not who you believe them to be, who others want to lead you to believe that they are. And there is certainly some speculation about things that they have done when they were younger. I mean, to try to pretend that none of us have ever done anything foolish, or whether it be something we regret or not, we all learn and grow as people as time goes on. And we make mistakes, we change direction. That's what life is all about. So again, go and meet the people if you have any interest, and see what you find. You might learn something. Not just about people, maybe about yourself. Until next time, happy reading.